California. A kind of frontier. These are the voyages of the ground ship Satirize. Her ongoing mission: to seek out new jokes, to find new rooms and comedy stations, to boldly go where no Wyomingan has gone before. I'm gonna do that a little better later on. I got a mirror behind me so I can find where my face is. There we are. I just took a shower, and so I'm a little bit ragged presently. So here's the deal. You know, this is my little RV home, and I figured might as well tell the story of French accent. You know, like what made French accent in today's vlog. I just got out of the gym. I've got 15 articles to write, and my hair is a little wet still, and I'm kind of sweaty, and I'm getting used to doing the widescreen format, but this is my humble abode, my little Irv. Well, that's my cat. Stepped on her. Sorry about that, stinkers. How you doing? You okay? Sorry about that. Sorry. Look, when I'm doing a vlog, I can't see you, all right? Anyway, so here's how French accent came about. I wanted to do comedy for a long time. When I was a little kid, actually, believe it or not, my great aunt, well, she was my godmother, used to tell me I was very funny. She'd say to me, "Wow, how do you remember all these jokes?" I had a joke about kids getting lost in the forest. Their names were Shut Up, You're an Idiot, and Manners, and the cops find only one of the kids, you know, of the four. Well, if he finds three of them, and he's like, "What's your name?" and the first kid's like, "Shut up," and the second kid's like, "You're an idiot," and the cop's like, "Where are your manners?" and the kids are like, "Well, this is why we came to you." This is a joke I knew when I was 3 or 4 years old. I don't remember it. It's not that funny. But I remembered lots of jokes like that. And French accent, you know, comes from that to a degree. I wanted to do comedy. I got a degree in theater. I was gonna do theater, and then as it turns out, I grew into my senses, and I realized that theater isn't really that good for anybody. I got my degree in 2008. I worked at the coal mines. I wrote some comedy bits, and I had to flip a coin. I said, God, heads, I go to Colorado. Tails, I stay in Wyoming working at another coal mine because I wanted to make enough money to go to LA with my bachelor's degree in theater. Thank God it came up to whichever option, I don't remember, but it came up to go down to Fort Collins. So I went down to Fort Collins to look for comedy. Couldn't find it in 2008, so I gave up. 3 years later, I had a relationship with a girl who dumped me. You know, I wanted to ask her to marry me. She wanted to play crotch hopscotch with any crotch she came across. We had our differences. So she broke up with me, godsend in disguise. And I was depressed, and I got a DWAI. And then my buddy Reese, close friend of mine for years, he had already started doing comedy in Colorado. He told me about an open mic. You know, I'd looked and hadn't found it 3 years before. It turned out I just looked in the wrong place because comedians have no money and can't advertise. So I did that. I did a Scottish patois based on my ability to be from Scotland at the drop of a hat, you know, and it was great. You know, I do jokes. I love blackberries, or as I prefer to call them, wee grapes, and stuff of that nature. And it went really good. And then I ran into a Scotsman who was he was already doing that, so I couldn't keep doing that. So I had to come up with a new character. I had an idea for a Frenchman who was just uninteresting, unremarkable, and told all these stories as though they were the most amazing thing in the world when they weren't. His name was Francois Raphael Edgar Norbert Celestine Herbert Absalon Corentin Clement Emmanuel Nathaniel Telesphore, the initials of which spell French accent. And then I had to move. I had to move because my little brother was coming down, and Mom and Dad needed a chaperone. They wanted me to live with him. I didn't want to do that because I'd been in an apartment for 3 years, but I said I would. While I was moving, my keyboard broke because I leaned it against the wall, and the weight of the keyboard broke the AC adapter, which prompted me to pick up an accordion I hadn't touched for a year. And I think God let me break the keyboard, so I'd pick up that accordion and start dinking around with it. And I loved Mitch Hedberg and how he had a bass in the background, but I didn't want to have to bring another instrument or another instrumentalist on stage with me. But with the accordion, I could just play a simple and do the same sort of thing, but different, so I could use the comedy lesson that he'd learned without appropriating what he did. And that's what great artists do, is what I'm told. So I started doing that, and then I had an eye patch laying around from Halloween when I was Snake Plissken. So I threw that on at a beret, because, you know, I had a couple of those, and that was quintessentially French. Threw on the accordion, and that first set is on this channel, actually. And you can see how much it differs from later French accent sets. So that's where French accent came from. I did a good deed over time. God rewarded me by helping me find my new character, and then I went on the road with this Scotsman who was headlining, doing the Scottish character, who had prompted me to change initially because, you know, he was already headlining. I only had 20 minutes. And I spent 3 months honing my craft until I had a half-hour set. And that's where French accent comes from. And I've been at it ever since. And now I'm in LA in an RV with a cat. Either I'm winning at this, or I have lost so bad I haven't even realized it. But I'm going to keep on until, well, until another door opens. Isn't that right, Stinkers? All right. Stinky. 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 Just give me the cold shoulder. All right, I got a catty animal, so I got to deal with that. God bless you all. Good night.